Hi everyone, welcome to the day three of our 24-day series of Fabric. So today we will see some of the activities present in our Fabric data pipeline, and which is copy data activity, script, notebook, Dataflow Gentoo, Lookup, and ForEach. And I will explain each one, and we will also do some small hands-on examples for the most useful ones. So let's get started. Before to that, I will first load some data in our Fabric Lakehouse, and so that we can use those. So here I have some of the data sets. I'll use these data sets. I'll upload this. Okay, fine. Okay. So let's start with the copy data activity. So before to that, I will go to my bronze layer. And in the bronze layer, we have raw pipelines. So here I will create a pipeline, and I'll name it as test pipeline, or else pipeline underscore test underscore practice. Let's have a pipeline as like this. So we will drag our copy data activity first in our canvas, and the copy data activity is used to move data from one source to another source, to another destination. So for example, it will just copy the data from one place and it will publish it or upload it to another place. And it is the backbone of every Fabric pipeline. So let's start with configuring a copy data activity. So in the general, we can provide a name of this copy data activity. So we can write cd underscore cd underscore copy. Let's select a connection, the source connection as, so what I will select my lake house only. And from my lake house, which is lh underscore raw, I will select one of the file. So let's select the financial transaction updated. I have selected the financial transaction updated. Now what I want it to, so the file format will be CSV first of all. So it will, we have to write it as delimited text. Now I can preview the data. You can see we have the data. Now I want to publish this to my warehouse, the practice warehouse. So what I want it to be pasted in my practice warehouse, and I want it as a auto created table. So schema name and table name. Let's check our schema first. What schema we have? So in the gold layer in the warehouse, let's see what schemas we have. I think we have two schemas, the stage and mart. Yeah, so I will load it in the stage DWH. And if I am not providing any schema here, a table name also, what it will do, it will create it automatically. Okay, that like it will create it in the DBO, but I'll create a table name. So financial fin transaction, I'll write. Uh, because the table is in the auto create mode, so it will create the schema as well from the source itself, and no need to do any other, no need to add any other details here until it is needed. So what we can do, we can just save this pipeline and we can run. Let's see. We will be having, after the successful run of this pipeline, we will be having a new table created in our warehouse in the DBO schema. So this pipeline status is now success. The run status is success. So let's see in our warehouse. In the DBO schema, do we have a new table or not? So here you can see we have a fin transaction table created as we set it in our pipeline in the copy data activity. So what it does, it will move data from one source to another destination. Okay. Now let's talk about another activity which is script. So I will go to the activities. As of now, I will deactivate this one. I'll use the script here. So script is nothing. It's just as we can use SQL script, and whenever we will run the pipeline, that SQL script will run in the backend, and we can see the results. So let's go to the setting. Let's configure the script. So in the setting, I need to select the connection. So I will select the connection as practice where a warehouse key Bhardwaj. So my warehouse name is WH Gold. So what I want now, I want to truncate the table which we have just loaded. So what I will do, I will write a truncate table statement. Truncate table. So the table name is field transaction. So dbo dot and transaction. Let's once confirm whether the table name is correct or not. Okay, so what I will do, I will just copy this and then paste it here. Truncate table dbo dot field transaction. Okay, I'll click on OK. I'll save the pipeline again and let's run this. So after this run is completed, we will see there will be no data in our table. So it succeeded now. Let's see our table now. So I will refresh the table here first. So as you can see, we don't have any data now. So this is how we can use the truncate statement in our script. Any statement we can use script like select into, insert into, and if we want to use the merge statement for incremental, we can use the script. So those we will practice in our upcoming classes or later sessions. Now let's talk about notebook. So in the activities, you can see we have notebook here. So I'll select notebook. So now I can, so I with the help of this, I can create a new notebook because we don't have any existing notebook. So I will create a new notebook and I can reference that notebook to this pipeline. And in that notebook, I can write my PySpark or Python code. So let me just create a new notebook. So the notebook has been created. Here, what I can use, first of all, I need to select my data sources. So here my data source is my lakehouse. So let me just quickly create a data frame and I will read my existing file, existing file or table. Or else let me read just the file. I have to add the path. So the path I am not remembering as of now. So let me just remember find the path. So here in the lakehouse, you can easily find the path by just clicking on these three dots and going to the properties. And here you can see this ABFSS path, or else you can go with the relative path. So I first selected the relative path. Let's see. Okay. Now let me just run this. Okay, it ran. The new cell, I will just use df.so. I will run this cell as well. So now you can see we can easily use PySpark in our notebook, and that notebook one, what we can do, we can reference it here. So you can see we can select our notebook one. I need to refresh first. This one else. Okay. This is saved now. This is auto save. I want to change the name. Let's change the name if or else we can do it later. Okay. So I'll reference that notebook to this here. You can see I have refreshed it. And now if I run the pipeline, that that will run in the backend, and basically we are not doing anything. If we can write and overwrite also there somewhere as a new table or a new file, but let's just run it so that we can see if the that notebook is running fine or not. It's true succeeded. And what so the backend basically we haven't added any kind of rewrite or overwrite thing here, that we will discuss later. But it ran successfully. It means that that notebook referenced in this pipeline is working well. Now let's talk about the for each activity or lookup activity first. Let's talk about the lookup activity. So the lookup activity is used to fetch data dynamically from a source. And we are using it usually for a list of tables or configuration. So what we can do, we can pass the values to other activities like ForEach. So we can use lookup and ForEach, and we can load bulk data like multiple files at a single time or multiple tables at a single time to another destination. Okay. So let's set up a lookup. So here I need to select a connection. So I will select a connection. Then here I need to select a warehouse. So what I want to use a query. So from this warehouse, so what query I can use? I can use a query like select schema name or table name from the table list. So basically from warehouse, if we want to fetch all the table list, so what we can do, we have to write a SQL query here. So I will write select, and we need the schema name, comma, like only the schema name. So let's fetch the schema name only from the information schema. And I'll just click on OK. If I preview the data, oh, I need to untick this. So we have to untick this first row only thing, and I have unticked this. Now again, I will use the preview data. So here you can see these are the schema which I have in my warehouse. Now what I can do? I can pass these value to the for each. Let me just drag a for each activity here. So this is a for each activity. I need to connect this to this. So here what I need a sequential run. So I need to just write in the item, I need to use a dynamic content. So I need from the lookup one, I need the value. Okay. I'll just click on OK. Now inside this, let me drag a copy data activity. Or else what I want is I need to change one more thing. I need to change just one more thing. Just a second. So in the lookup, what I will do on instead of only schema name, I'll copy both schema and table. I'll find both schema and table. So just a second, I'll write schema name, then table underscore name. And here instead of schema, just I'll write tables. And where table type will be base table. Table type equals to base table. That's order by table schema. Here I need to write table schema instead of table. Hmm, order by it by table name and table schema. That's it. Let's see the preview data. So here I have in the DBO I have fin transaction and I have in the stage DWH I have raw customer STG. So these are the two tables. Now in the for each I have selected output dot value. Inside it I'll add a copy data activity and what I will do in the source I have to select the warehouse again. So basically the source will be again the same warehouse. Sorry, this is the not the same warehouse. Yeah. And I will use the query method for the warehouse gold. I will use the query method and I'll write select. So here I will use dynamic content here. So here what we can do, we can write at the rate concat and in the concat I have to write the SQL script. So I'll write select and star from just after this I'll write comma item dot my item will be here table schema comma and I'll use it as dot now inside this dot and again comma item item dot it will be my table name. Okay, let's see. Let me just preview the data here. Acha. That will come from there. So let's not do anything. So destination is fine and that item dot table name. Again, I'll save this. I'll run. So now you can see the copy data, both of the copy data activity, like it ran twice just because we were having two tables. Now let's find out do our table has been loaded as a file again or not. So I'll go to the file and let me just check what is our destination here. Destination is lakehouse. As table name we have files. Okay, so just I'll go to the lakehouse. I'll refresh the files. Now you can see the fin transaction as well as the raw customer stage. Both came as a file. So our pipeline, so we did the bulk load with the help of our for each and lookup activity. Okay. Now we will use a Dataflow Gen 2 as well. So let me just deactivate these two. So that is our another activity which is called Dataflow Gen 2. I'll select a Dataflow. Again, here again I need to create a new Dataflow. So I'll create a new Dataflow. In the Dataflow, I'll add data from our Fabric Lakehouse itself. So I'll select one of the files. So I will select our dim customer. So Dataflow Gen 2, what we can do, we can transform the data and again we can load it back to any other destination. So with the help of Dataflow Gen 2. So here if I loaded the this customer table, so now you can see we have some transformation issue. The first row is not the header. So I'll keep the first row as header. Now I promoted our header. Now what I need only few data. So I just only need the Chennai, Hyderabad and Bangalore data and Kolkata data. So other data I don't want. So I will filter the data just to do some transformation. That's why. And we need only the premium data. So these are the four records which we need from Hyderabad, Kolkata, Chennai. Now I will keep one destination here. So in the destination, I have to select my warehouse. So I'll select my warehouse. And I want it to create a new table. So it will create a new table there. I have added the name. And the update method is replace. So it will replace it every time whenever we will run this data flow. So I have saved this data flow. Now what I will do, I'll go to the pipeline and here I will select this data flow. So I need to refresh here. Now we have this data flow. Again, I'll save the pipeline and run it back. So others, all the activities are in the disabled mode, deactivated. So only this data flow activity will run. You can see others are inactive. So as you can see, our data flow is also succeeded. Our this pipeline with data flow activity is succeeded. So let's see in our warehouse code. Do we have a new table as customer or not? So here you can see we have a dim customer. And only four records we have as we transformed it in the data flow. So that's an overview of all the key Fabric pipeline activities, like which is the copy data activity, the script activity, notebook, data flow gen 2, and lookup and ForEach. Together, these will help you to automate the data ingestion part, transformation, and the orchestration of the end-to-end Microsoft Fabric pipeline. Now, in our next videos, we will see how we can use Dataflow Gen 2 to transform data from in Fabric, how we can use Notebook to transform data and to create pipelines in Fabric, and then we will uh, do the hands-on practice of SCD1 and SCD2 type of cases in Fabric. So let's connect again. Thank you. Bye bye.